Alright. Let's keep going. I'm pretty sure this is the last chapter until we get an ending. A pair of footsteps descends the stairs, just in time for the microwave to beep. I take out 2 cups of hot chocolate, then turn around to face James, who's just entered the kitchen. I made one for you, I say, offering the second cup. James gives me a suspicious look. How did you know I would come? I shrug. Had a feeling you couldn't sleep either. I heard a noise, so I came to see if it was you, he says as he takes the cup from my hand. Worried about me? I ask, shooting him a smirk. It's the last night before we infiltrate Julio's meeting location. The past week I've been training non-stop with James and Eok to prepare for this. You've received as much training as I could give you in such a short period of time. It is not I that is worried, he responds. It is not that I am worried? Okay. I guess he realizes I've been fretting all night and wasn't able to sleep. I gesture towards the couch in the living room so we can sit down. We sit down on the couch together, cups in our hands. The steam of hot chocolate slowly dissipates into the air. I admit I am quite anxious about tomorrow. I've never done anything like this before. Nerves before your first mission are completely normal. It keeps your senses sharp. I quietly sip my hot chocolate. It's also not letting me sleep. Are you concerned the mission will not succeed? He asks. Julio has been a large terrorist organization for decades. If the authorities haven't been able to stop them before, what chance do I have? A no-name superhero? I sigh softly. It sounds like the authorities in your world are incompetent at their job, James sneers, or willfully turning a blind eye. You know, it could very well be that they're both in on it, working together, I suggest, my head filling with conspiracy theories. Just like your sister and Eok were part of the resistance all along. James wraps his hands around the cup, silently contemplating. I did not know she was conspiring in the shadows, he admits, or perhaps I was turning a blind eye to her actions as well. I mean, you did know she was sneaking out of the palace. You must have had your suspicions, I surmise. The closer someone is to you, the harder it is to face the truth about them, he says softly. In a way, that's the same thing with Benjamin. I never had an inkling of an idea that he was actually with Julio, let alone the de facto leader. Why do you think she kept it a secret from you? I ask. The question makes James stiffen up in response. I don't know. My family is what is most important to me. She should have known I was on her side. I always have been. Everything James has done has been in the name of survival. Everything James has done has been in the name of the survival of his family. What was it that you said before? Something about how my parents never told me they were vigilantes to protect me. Perhaps Lana was doing the same thing. James snorts in response. I was doing the protecting. Lana was powerless after the invasion of our planet. How could she possibly protect me? I shake my head. Not everything is about physical strength. Lana may not have been able to fly, but she was mighty powerful behind the scenes. From the small glimpses I've seen, she's charmed many Gauth to be on her side. I place my empty cup on the coffee table, then lean back into the couch. She could rally them to support her. I'm sure she was doing everything she could to keep you and your brother safe in her own way. For a small moment, James grows quiet. Usually he has a retort or counter-argument, repeating only strength matters, but it seems my words finally got through to him. Absent-mindedly, he places the cup on the table as well. Had she told me, I would have helped her. Maybe that's why she didn't. She knew you'd help her and get into trouble yourself. That would have been my choice to make. No, I agree with that. I don't think she should have taken away your agency, much like how my parents kept everything hidden from me and my brother. I understand their position, both my sister and your parents, but also disagree with their actions. He scans me with his dark eyes. I think you would be perfectly equipped to handle whatever they were involved with. I can't help but smile in response. Thanks, I also think Lana should have told you. You probably lead them to victory. I never lose a battle, he smirks confidently. Except when it comes to Earth, I chuckle. Earth doesn't count. He dismisses just as quickly. What? How come it doesn't? It wasn't a battle, he states simply. I guess my eyes must be deceiving me. I'm pretty sure there was fighting involved. It was supposed to be a negotiation. Unfortunately, due to Eok's actions and yours, it failed. I poke my finger into his chest. Just admit it. You lost. I goad him on. James brushes away my hand, huffing indignantly. I did not lose. I made a strategic decision not to engage. I burst out laughing. Wow, you really don't want to admit your loss, huh? I rub up my eyes, still smiling like an idiot. Because I haven't. He persists stubbornly. Keep that positivity for tomorrow, I say. We're gonna need it. Do not fret. We won't fail, he reassures me. You are under my protection. A lump forms in my throat as I stare at him with wide eyes. The way he just came out with it, so nonchalant, it's something I need to get used to. You'll protect me? I ask, almost hesitantly. James folds his arms across his chest, quirking an eyebrow at me. What else should I do? Let you perish? No, of course not. I shake my head. It's just a little strange to hear you say you'll protect me. Not to mention, it makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. I've trained you. It is my responsibility to see things through and make sure my student doesn't get hurt. Ah, that makes a lot more sense. So it's not just because you think I'm an amazing person and you don't want me to die, it's because I'm your student. James tilts his head to the side, causing some of his bangs to fall into his eyes. I do not intend to see you die, student or not. And just like that, my insides turn all syrupy. I let my head fall against his shoulder. Nope, I think he was blinking in that. Something uncertain flashes in those dark brown eyes of his. He tenses up at my gesture. Thanks, I say softly. It's nice to know you don't want me dead. James takes his time to respond, debating whether to push me away or leave me like this. It's clearly throwing him off his game, as he didn't expect any physical intimacy from my side. I don't want to see you die either, so don't do anything stupid, okay? James scoffs. The movement of his muscles ripples through me. There's no indication he wants to pull away or remove me. That's my line. You have a knack for trouble, he says with a mocking chuckle. I close my eyes. Maybe you're right. I guess you have to make sure to be there for me when I fall. Donk, donk, donk. What is with his... I want to get past this fucking battle to know what the fuck's going on with his heartbeat and what he was going to say before about... Because it seemed to me like he was going to be like, you can hear my heartbeat? Because, like, maybe that's something to do with it. Like, I don't know. I need to know. If you stumble, it is your own fault, he mutters. What if it's not? I'll catch you regardless, he whispers near my ear. There are things in life that will never happen with near certainty. Pigs learning to fly, the moon turning into the sun. My heart racing and blushing at something James said was supposed to be one of them. Yet here I am, desperately trying to use my short hair to cover my red cheeks because damn, that was smooth. Are you going to stay like this? He suddenly asks. Yep, I answer, my voice monotone. Does it bother you? He sounds out a small huff, closing his eyes. It helps distract my thoughts from tomorrow, so let me stay for a bit, I mumble. James doesn't say anything, but it doesn't remove me from his shoulder either. He lets me be, listening to his unique heartbeat. Eventually, he stirs, preparing to say something. The ribbons. That was of your doing, wasn't it? He asks softly. My eyes flutter up at his stoic face. The ones I tied to the trees. Leading all the way back to the house, he says. Yes, that was me. Oh? Why? He asks. Because you needed a little help finding your way back, I say nonchalantly. I don't recall proposing such an idea. Exactly. You wouldn't ask for my help, so I took the initiative. James huffs dismissively. Stubborn, he states. It worked, didn't it? I ask gleefully. He doesn't respond to that, his eyes shifting away from mine. There's a smile on my face that's hard to keep from growing. I snuggle up next to him, feeling brave enough to get so familiar with him. Isn't it time you should rest in your own chambers? He finally asks. I suppose you're right. I remove myself from his shoulder with a slight sigh. I do need to sleep. Thanks for keeping me company, I say. The small chat with James did take my mind off things. James gets up from the couch and walks towards the staircase. Get as much rest as you still can. Sleep well. He then takes his leave. It's still too not progressing. She's progressing, but we're not seeing the progression on his end, really. He's not really getting, like, flustered and stuff, which is what I was hoping for. I sink back into the couch, taking a small moment before I get up to return to my room. As much as I tried, I wasn't able to get a lot of sleep. There's this pit in my stomach, heavy and anxious, but it's combining with this exhilarating feeling as well. I'm nervous and also fired up. At least it gave me some peace of mind that I held up my end of the bargain and gave Mr. Invisible his new identity papers. We haven't heard from him since, probably enjoying his new life away from Julio. The only thing he let us know is the time Julio was going to have the meeting, giving us some time to prepare. We're all here. Kane, James, and Eok are all in supersuits, with Eok in his human form as well. Eric is staying behind as backup and our intel. as he'll be monitoring the cameras inside the hotel. First, we're going to need to tap into those cameras, though. I want to see Eok's white suit. He does not have a white suit. We were supposed to be matching. If this is going to work out, speak English, Kane warns them. I know you can. Yeah, no problem. Eok answers in English. Everyone, please wear this in your ear, I say as I hand everyone an earpiece. We can communicate through these. Eok blows into the earpiece, creating a high-pitched feedback loop that makes me cringe and immediately remove mine. Try not to do that, Eok, I say, rubbing my ear. He gives me a sheepish smile, looking a bit guilty. Before handing the earpiece to James, I briefly recall the memory of when I touched his ear, eliciting a strong reaction from him. I'm worried he may not want to wear it. Are you okay wearing this? I ask him. James tilts his head to give me a strange gaze. Why wouldn't I be? He says in English this time around. I don't know, sensitive ears, I guess? James snatches the earpiece from my hand with a loud huff. It seems he's slightly embarrassed. Mind your own business, he grumbles, reverting back to his own language. He plugs the earpiece into his ear without any issues. Oh, also, take this pill, I tell him as I remember the motion sickness he gets in the car. James eyes the small round pill suspiciously. What is it? It's so you don't get nauseous in the car. We don't want you feeling out of sorts when you need to be sharp of mind. James is about to rebut and probably deny he gets nauseous, so I take his hand and press the pill into his palm. Please, I urge him. His brown eyes flicker to mine, but then he closes them and pops the pill right into his mouth. I smile in relief at his obedience. Now remember, first you gotta find the electric control panel so I can tap into the security cameras and tell you guys where Ben is holding up, says Eric. It's near the back entrance. Should be easy enough to break into, Kane adds onto the conversation. It's going to be guarded, I point out. No problem, we'll just take him out, says Kane with a confident nod. Eok, James, please don't harm anyone. Just stick close to us and stay on the lookout, alright? I warn the both of them. I'll be Valkyie's second pair of eyes, Eok exclaims excitedly. Please don't do anything stupid, Eric warns me. Like what? I say innocently. Eric says nothing. Instead, he pulls me in for a quick hug. Leo is dangerous. Don't let me lose a sister to them as well. I know. I'll be careful, I tell him. I release him, then wave my hand at him, trying to reassure him that it's going to be alright. But when I enter the minivan with everyone else, I know it's not that simple. This is serious. I might get hurt for real, or worse, die. I'll regret it if I don't go for the rest of my life, so I keep myself focused. By the time we arrive in the city, it's already dark. Julio wasn't going to convene until after 6 p.m. at least. Our minivan is parked a street further away from the hotel. Now we're in an alley at the servant entrance. We all hide behind a large dumpster, putting on our masks. Kane looks around the container to inspect the entrance. No one is there, but there's a camera pointing at the door. We need to disable it without alerting them. How are we going to do that? I ask, worried. Kane just grins at me, putting his index finger to his thumb, creating a small spark. We're just gonna short circuit it for a bit. He stands up. Everyone get ready. We're gonna bust down those doors as soon as I fire at the camera. Take down anyone standing in your way. He means restrain them. I quickly correct Kane. Then Kane gets up, swiftly running towards the entrance with hair crackling full of electricity. He fires out a small beam of electricity towards the camera. Sparks go flying and the camera appears to have shut down. Kane kicks against the doors, but they won't budge, clearly locked on the inside. He kicks it again with more force, but the doors stay closed. James rushes past Kane, delivering a calculated kick in the middle of the doors, and they break open. Kane gives James a dirty glare, but James rushes inside. We scramble to follow after. Surprisingly, there's no one around to guard the back entrance. I quickly pull the doors closed, hoping no one will notice we broke it down. Go down this corridor and then take a left, says Eric's voice in my ear. He's giving us instructions as he's the one with the blueprints of the hotel. I gesture towards the rest and we all hurry down the corridor. When we reach the corner, we halt. There's 2 guards stationed outside, I whisper to them. They seem to be armed with weapons. I can take both of them. They don't look like supers, Kane suggests. If you can zap them so they can't react, I'll tie them up, okay? I say. Okay, go, Kane urges. He jumps from behind the corner, extending both hands towards the guards. Startled at Kane suddenly announcing himself, the guards don't have time to react when Kane fries them both with his electricity. Their bodies spasm and they tumble down to the floor. My time to shine. I reveal myself as well and quickly shoot out thread from all my fingers, wrapping them around the guards' bodies. In under 30 seconds, I've got them wrapped up like a cocoon. They can't move or nor talk. Eok, James, come help us move these bodies, I whisper to the earpiece. Kane fiddles around with the lock on the door, eventually having to lockpick it before he can open it. Eok and James help us drag the two bodies inside the room. We enter the room, quickly stuffing away the two guards. They're conscious and wriggle around, but they can't do much when they're tied up like that. I quickly tie them up to a pole to make sure they can't slither away like a caterpillar. Kane walks around the room. There are control panels and wires everywhere. Okay, Eric, time to tell me what to do, says Kane. As Eric prattles off instructions, telling Kane which control panel to open and which wires to hook up with his own laptop, I stay close to the door with the other two. Got eyes, Kane exclaims as he looks at his laptop. I lean over his shoulder to look at the screen. It shows the live feed of all the cameras in the hotel. There must be 100 of them. There's so many. That's a lot, I sigh. So tiny, too. I can hardly tell what's going on. Kane moves his mouse around to click on certain feeds, enlarging the video so we can get a good look. You should either be in a room or at the meeting, says Eric. Probably the penthouse or something, Kane mutters darkly. He browses through the many camera feeds as we try to locate Benjamin. There! They are having a meeting, I exclaim as I notice one camera feed. Kane enlarges the camera feed so we can get a better view. It's a large ballroom, tables spread across with many people in business suits attending. Benjamin is at the front of the podium speaking. The old man really is alive, Kane breathes out, still astonished at this fact. Kane, those are supers, I say, pointing at the bodyguards behind Benjamin's back. Shit, one of them is vapor. He literally breathes out poison. And the other one? I ask. Don't recognize them. That means we should be careful. As if we shouldn't already be careful around someone that can make us die by simply breathing, I snark. Eric, what should we do? Asks Kane. There are 5 other supers in the same room. Seems almost impossible to extract the target like this. Well, that's why we're here in the electricity room, I explained, to cause a blackout. There was some debate on how to cause the blackout. The easier solution was going to be Kane short-circuiting the system entirely, but we need Kane to deal with the other supers so he couldn't stay behind. It was Eok that offered to stay behind. I'm still not a fan, as Eok cannot defend himself if caught. Make sure you get out once you cause the blackout, okay? I warn him. I wonder if he's going to wear this in his route. I will be careful. Do not worry about me, he says confidently. Alright, I say, still unsure. Once the blackout has set in, we can capture the target using the moment of confusion and pull him out. I can incapacitate Vapor, but I still don't know who the other super is and what they can do, so we need to be careful. Is this going to be a surprise twist of who the other person is? We can't see them, right? If they're super, they're probably masked and stuff, right? Kane glances at the laptop again, thinking over our current plan. Although, I guess it's just like a secret super, almost like a vigilante super, so he doesn't know who it is, right? Because you know what a superhero looks like, that's why he knows who Vapor is. Come on, let's find that ballroom, I say. What floor is it in? 12th floor, it seems, answers Eric. Let's go then, I say. Time to put the plan into action. As seen on the camera feeds, guards are stationed outside every elevator exit on the 12th floor, including the stairway. There's no way we would be able to pass through undetected. Guys, I still don't agree with this plan. No actual climbing gear sounds wholly unsafe, warns Eric. Your precious sister will be safe with me. I can carry my own weight tenfold, answers James. You better be telling me the truth about that, I say skeptically. Why are you skeptic all of a sudden? You've called it, you've mentioned how muscly he is so many times. Of course he can carry you. He can carry you like 10 versions of you. Come on, let's go back outside, says Kane. Eok, you know what to do. Eok looks a bit sheepish. I'll instruct him, says Eric in our ears. Do not worry about him. He's a soldier, so he can take care of himself, says James. Okay, meet us out in the street where we left the car once you're done, I tell him. Kane hands the laptop over to Eok. Good luck, he tells us. I wave at him, feeling uneasy about leaving him behind. You sure you know what you're doing? Asks Kane, giving me a cynical side-eye. Not at all, I answer for him. To be honest, the plan is ludicrous, but it's crazy enough that it might work. I look up at the backside of the building and start counting the floors until I reach the 12th. Then I spread my arms and let my thread do all the work. On my fingertips spawn thread that I weave together to form 2 tight ropes. They grow longer and longer, rising up against the concrete of the building, slithering higher. Within a minute, I have 2 strong ropes hanging off the side of the building, securely tied. Coast is clear, guys. All cameras are disabled. No one will see you, Eric notifies us. I look over at Kane and hand one of the ropes. You really are, Spider Boy, he says. I can feel his smug smirk radiating through his mask. I roll my eyes at him. Shut it and climb. James suddenly swoops in, taking the rope from my hand and wrapping it around his arm. Then he tugs me in close by my waist, holding me firmly against his body. Let's go, I say, wrapping my arms around James's neck. Kane starts walking up against the building, using the rope to climb higher. James, like the brute man he is, propels us forward in the air, leaping up several stories high until he lands against the concrete and holds onto the rope again. He's like a grasshopper, effortlessly leaping up several stories again. I try my best to hold on. I'm so happy the cloak of darkness keeps us hidden. This wouldn't be possible during the day. Kane is lagging behind, but his strength and agility is no joke either. He's halfway up the building. They really are on a whole nother level. Let's get another screenshot. I don't know how many I need, so I'm just getting as many as I can. Finally, James arrives on the 12th floor. He places me down on the ledge, poking out. Though he doesn't remove his arm from around my waist, just in case. I dare to look down and immediately regret it. We're so high up, I yelp. If we fall here... You're not going to fall, James reassures me. Tell that to my lizard brain screaming right now, I joke half-heartedly. Lizard brain? James repeats strangely. Never mind. Oh, there's Kane. Kane lands next to us, clearly breaking out into a good sweat from the workout. You're good, guys. No one's seen you, mentions Eric. Good, says Kane with a relieved sigh. It's time for him to do his part of the plan. Break open the glass. These hotel windows aren't designed to open, so we're going to have to brute force it. Kane crouches down on the ledge and inches towards the first window he can reach. Light peers out of the windows. There's clearly a gathering present at the moment. Peeking through it, Kane determines it's safe enough to proceed. Most people are facing away from that window, Eric assures us as he flies his drone around the premises. Kane takes out a suction cup from under his suit and fixates it onto the window. He pulls on it a couple of times to check if it's secured tightly. Then he brings his right hand up to the glass. A small zap of electricity shoots from the tip of his index finger. It looks hot enough to be a flame. He directs it towards the glass and starts cutting through it like it's made out of butter. I thought Eric made you something to cut the glass. I didn't realize you were capable of being a bona fide laser cutter, I say in awe. Shh, I'm concentrating. Kane hushes me. I let Kane do his work in peace, keeping quiet. He cuts out an irregular circular shape, but it's big enough for the 3 of us to enter through. He had to make it extra large for James. Kane takes in a deep breath and then attempts to remove the piece of glass using the suction cup. Luckily, the glass pops right out and stays attached to the cup. My heart rate is going so fast right now, we could seriously end up dying here if we get caught. Kane looks up at me. My turn again. I spread my fingers apart and weave together a rope, shorter this time. I attach it to the outside of the building and let it flow inside so that we have something to climb down as the windows are quite high up. Not waiting around long enough, Kane takes the cut piece of glass with him as he climbs down my rope into the room. I follow after, with James entering last. We try our best to be quiet and stealthy as we group up in the corner, surveying the room and the people inside. There's around 20 people here, excluding the hired bodyguards. Benjamin is up at the front, speaking into the microphone. The plan is to extract Benjamin and get out of here safely. Kane ends up glaring at his father. There's some deep-seated hatred buried down there. Valkii, are you able to grab him from here? Kane whispers. I should be able to attach a rope around him and have James pull him out, I answer. But I am worried about his bodyguards, though. One of them is Vapor, but he shouldn't be able to harm us from this distance. The other super, dressed in all black and hints of purple, I don't recognize them. They could be a wild card that we didn't prepare for. I have to be careful. Is it Neil? He's got purple hair. I don't think so, though. I start to create another rope once more, preparing myself for the eventual blackout. Okay, I'm ready, I say, keeping my eyes on the prize. You ready to pull him in? I ask James. Yes, is his simple answer. Eric, give us a countdown. Says Kane. Alright, Eok, remember what I told you to look for? Asks Eric. Yes, 5 large buttons, answers Eok through the call we're all connected with. Make sure all the buttons are flipped down when I count to 1. Everyone tenses up, getting ready to jump into action. Close your eyes so you're used to the dark, I warn everyone. Open them again on 1. I close my own eyes and take in a deep breath. 5, Eric starts to count. 4, 3, 2, 1. The lights flicker out. The entire room gasps in surprise and confusion. I open my eyes, being able to see in the dark much better than everyone else. I only have a few seconds to act. I shoot my rope across the room, aiming at Benjamin in the middle. The rope makes contact and it quickly ties him up. Got him. Pull him in, I tell James. I detach the rope and hand it over to him, to which he gives a powerful tug. I see Benjamin's body get dragged through the room. I can't believe we got him. Did you, though? In an instant, the unidentified super snatches Benjamin away and breaks the rope. No! And then I start coughing, followed by Kane. My lungs prickle and hurt. The air is toxic. Shit, it's vapor. Valkii, Kane, get out now! Eric yells into our ears. I try to stay strong on my legs to abort the mission, but the toxin has already entered my body. I'm lightheaded and my strength leaves my body. Even James has started to cough. I fall unconscious. Oh no. Am I gonna get my moment of James being visibly distressed about our safety? I gradually stare awake. My eyelids feel heavy. There's a sharp pain in my chest when I breathe. That's when I notice my hands are tied behind my back. I'm kneeling down onto the floor right in front of Benjamin Prince. Kane and James are both tied up as well, kneeling next to me. All of our masks have been stripped. To think I'd ever have to see your face again, says Benjamin with this nasty sneer. Funny, I must be seeing a ghost then, Kane spits back at him. What can I do? We're tied up and trapped with terrorists. Think, Valkii, how do you get out of here? Shit, Eric hiccups into my ear. Eok is on his way. He's gonna get you guys out. Eok can't do anything, though. He would just get caught himself. Noticing my struggle with the binds around my wrists, James's eyes flash over to me. Remain calm, he whispers in a low voice. Don't do anything rash. He's right. All eyes are on us. There's no way we can get out of this, not with all these supers around. Nearly a decade and you haven't changed a bit, you brat, says Benjamin. What did you do to Mom? Kane questions him, electricity flaring around him. The super dressed in black and purple kicks Kane's face in, making him howl in pain and quit generating electricity. Silence, boy. Benjamin hushes him. He then walks around us, addressing the crowd. As you can see, I have a shameful lineage myself. I helped create this abominable reject. The crowd bursts out into whispers. Benjamin walks back over to the podium and gestures the super. The super picks Kane up by his hair. Hey, let go of me, Kane yells out loud. The super drags Kane toward the podium as well. No longer will we share this world with them, Benjamin speaks into the microphone. Harbinger, please demonstrate on this reject. Oh. My eyes widen when I see the super Harbinger. Harbinger. Oh, I hate that word. Take over one of the guns a guard was holding. He points it straight at Kane. No! I yell, trying to get to my feet. I attempt to create a thread, but a man immediately blocks my view. He raises the back of his gun high in the air, intending to strike me with it. James hastily throws himself in front of me, taking the blow. No! James's brown eyes flicker at me. Don't look, he murmurs as a trickle of blood falls down his face. Don't move a muscle, any of you, the guard warns as he pulls James back to his previous spot. Powerlessly, I watch as Harbinger pulls the trigger. I expect a bullet, but instead, a dart shoots from the barrel and hits Kane right in his chest. He grunts in response. Oh, thank God it wasn't an actual bullet. With this simple weapon, we will take back what is ours. We will have our revolution. Benjamin continues to speak. Guess I do have to thank you for it, though. I heard you were involved with its early beta stages. He smirks at Kane. Shut the hell up, you monster! Kane screams. He struggles against the ropes tied around him, and his face is completely warped with hatred. But then soon after, fear settles in. Why can't I? He breathes out in shock. I cast my eyes down. If they didn't shoot him with a real bullet, it can only mean one other thing that they injected into him. You asshole! Give me back my power! Kane gets cut off by Harbinger. I hate that word. Who kicked... You know what? Let's, I'm gonna go to... Let's see how we say it.
Harbinger.
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 That seems so wrong. How do Americans pronounce it?
Harbinger.
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 Okay, Harbinger. Was I saying that? Harbinger. I hate this. Ugh. Kane's unconscious body flops down towards the floor. I feel my heart drop down to my stomach in horror. Gentlemen, what we have witnessed here was a super stripped of his power. For good, Benjamin proudly boasts. The crowd erupts into cheers. I feel like I'm trapped in a lion's den with no way out. Regret washes over me as I see Kane's body on the floor, not moving whatsoever. Then something touches my shoulder and I flinch in response. I want to look behind myself, but a voice stops me. Don't look, he whispers. They'll notice. Mr. Invisible. I feel like I'm not here, he warns me. What is he doing here? He should have been long gone with the new identity I've given him. Can you make me invisible? I ask him in a low whisper. Too risky. They'll notice straight away. He rejects the idea. I feel him untie my hands. Hold them together to fool them, he instructs me. I hear him shuffle away from me and move towards James, who has heard every word of what he said. He untied James as well. I need to get to Kane and then escape from here somehow. The window is still an option. If I could just tie a rope around Kane, I could save him. Why'd you have to get yourselves into this mess? Mr. Invisible groans. Why are you helping us? I ask him instead. He takes a moment to pause. I still owe your parents for all they did for me, he whispers. Do you have a plan? I ask, hopeful. This is as far as I got, he replies. I wasn't even sure you'd come today. James nudges my shoulder. Survey the situation. Don't make hasty decisions. He warns me in a low voice. Okay, think. We've got invisibility on our side. Mr. Invisible can make anything he touches invisible as well, so we could theoretically all escape right in front of them. But I need Kane with me as well. Mr. Invisible, I call out for him, can you make things partially visible? I sure can, he answers. Good. See what I'm doing with my hands? Make sure the rope stays invisible. Inconspicuously, I start to weave another thick piece of rope. From the way the guards are behaving, I'm assuming Mr. Invisible is keeping it from being seen. Good. They're also too preoccupied listening to Benjamin to really pay attention to what I'm doing. I continue to watch Benjamin address the crowd as I weave a rope long and strong enough to grab Kane. On the 18th, these rejects of the Earth will get their retribution. We will live on an Earth free of their ways. This man has completely lost it. It's sickening to have to listen to this, and even more so after he shot his own son without remorse. I glance up towards the ceiling. There's a chandelier I could make use of. I direct the rope to go straight up. It's a little hard to maneuver since I can't see it, but I can still make out its whereabouts as long as it's attached to me. Okay, it's in place. Now for the second rope. Here comes another one, I warn Mr. Invisible. Just a reminder that I have to continue touching them, otherwise it wears off, he tells me. I give a small nod. Then hold the other one too. When I've woven another rope, this one I direct to slither across the floor. I just hope to God no one accidentally steps on it. It goes all the way up to the podium to where Kane lies, and I sneak it around his body. He's still out cold and doesn't respond. I hope he's alright. James, I whisper. In my right hand is a rope attached to Kane. On my mark, use all your strength to pull him toward you and pick him up so we can get out of here. My nerves are making me shake, but I try to keep it under control. Mr. Invisible, get ready to turn us all invisible. We're exiting through the window. Wait, what? I don't even know if I can do that, he says in a much higher voice that it catches the guard's attention. Hey, shut your mouths, filth, he sneers. Now, I hiss under my breath. Shitballs, fuck. Mr. Invisible curses as Kane vanishes in front of my eyes. James gets up as he tugs on the piece of rope as hard as he can. Mr. Invisible quickly moves behind us, touches everyone, and we're now gone as well. What the hell? Where did they go? The guard next to us yells. I can feel James catch Kane's unconscious body. Good, he's got him. Moron, they're invisible, not intangible. Shoot them, Benjamin roars. Climb, I whisper. I quickly climb up the rope I attach to the chandelier and feel the rest follow me. The guard below us shoots randomly, hitting nothing but the floor. They're gone, he yells. James, can you swing us towards the window? I ask when we're high enough. Are we fucking monkeys? I thought you had a plan, whines Mr. Invisible. Don't you just call him Alex? That's his fucking name. James, however, starts to shift his body weight to move all of us. Something just touched me, yells a man in the crowd as the rope hits his head. I prepare my hands to shoot out a bunch of thread to pull us towards the open window. We gotta make this. This time, a visible thread shoots out and attaches to the further window, our escape route. James swings us over and I manage to pull us in. There they are, Benjamin points at the visible thread, giving away our position. Slide down, everyone, I say hastily. Mr. Invisible seems to have let go of my rope and appears to climb through the window, but that left all of us wide open and visible. James hops through the window as well, carrying Kane's body on his back. Everyone in the room sees him. Thought I saw a cat. Everyone sees me, still high up on the rope. No, I gotta make the jump, now. I push myself away from the rope, hoping I can make the window. Harboring a... I can't remember how to say his name again. Whatever. Points the gun at me and pulls the trigger. The blow to my neck causes me to lose my senses, and I momentarily black out. I fall through the window in an uncoordinated manner. A blow to your neck? What happened to you? What did you get shot with? James desperately tries to grab me as I tumble over the edge, but nearly drops Kane in return, so he misses me by a hair. I'm falling. Yes, this is what I wanted! I mean, we'll see. We'll see. James leaps from the ledge, plunging down into the depths to follow me. Valkii! Oh, he said our name! He screams, reaching his hand toward me. My hand reaches out for him too. I can attach a thread, stop us from falling. No, nothing is oh, they got rid of her power. Oh, that's horrible. She loves this power because it, like, helps with creating costumes. My ability, it's not working. No, we're both gonna die like this. Break the oath, James hollers. I don't miss a beat as I bring both my hands to my chest. I wish to break the oath, I yell loudly. The backs of my hands burn and sizzle, and pain stings me as I see the marks fade away. James roughly tears the bracelet off of his wrist, and then it's game on. Blue eyes zoom past me as he swoops me into his arms. I've never heard his heart beat this fast and loud before. It's overwhelming. James flies me back up to the building, dodging any incoming darts the guards are shooting at us. A super climbing through the window gets kicked into his stomach by James, making him fall back into the building. Hey, we're here, yells out Mr. Invisible's voice. He's kept both himself and Kane invisible to stop the enemy from finding them straight away. Climb on my back, James instructs me as he lands on the edge. Once he puts me down, I quickly clamber onto his back. You too, he tells Mr. Invisible. James punches away an incoming dart. I can see the puffy clouds of Vapor's poison pouring out of the window. Mr. Invisible holds onto James's back as well. He picks up Kane's body and then jumps off the ledge, zooming into the air. Wait, I have a bone to pick with Vapor. Can he choose who he poisons? And how does that work? Because if he was letting out a poison in that room, everyone else would have been getting poisoned as well, because you can't control the air. Like, it goes where, like, the air, it has a mind of its own, you know what I mean? So how was it just going into, like, a cone of those people and not anybody else? Am I crazy? If he can choose who to poison, that's weird, because how do you choose who to poison? Like, how does that logically work? You can't be like, because if he was touching them, that makes sense, obviously. But if it's just that he doesn't control the air. Does he control the flow of poison? It just comes out of him like that. I don't know. I guess it would be fine if he, like, was like, whoo, and then it, like, snaked. It stayed very small. It stayed very small and didn't disperse massively. James, we have to go back for Eok. He's still in the building, I tell him in a concerned tone. Well, this is a flashback. James lands onto the street where our car is parked. We hop off his back and I unlock the car, helping James move Kane's body inside. Valkii, are you safe? Eric screeches. I am for now. Kane's with me too, but he's unconscious. We're going back for Eok. I don't think that's a high priority right now, Eric says with a gulp. Why is that? Did something happen? I could feel myself grow cold at the thought of Eok being hurt. Supers and men wearing Forrester's Inc. logo are storming the building. Yeah. Hey, I'm getting the hell out of here, says Mr. Invisible, this time actually revealing himself. I'm not exactly on good terms with either of these groups, he says. I still have a little brother to take care of. Oh, Dimitri! Can we see him? Can we come? Can he come see you? Can we come see him? Where has he been all this time? I run a hand through my hair. Everything is so chaotic right now. No, I understand. I'm very grateful for your help. Please be safe, I tell him. Mr. Invisible gives me an informal salute and then vanishes in front of me. What do you want to do? Asks James, standing next to me. His eyes are back to brown. Attempting to retrieve Eok might be difficult. They just apprehended Eok. I can see them on the cams right now. Ugh, Eric groans out loud. Please tell me it's Forrester Inc. that caught him, I say, hoping for the best in this worst-case scenario. Yes, it's Forrester Inc. Benjamin has escaped with another super and everyone who was in that room is currently on the run, he explains. This is such a mess, I groan at my plans falling apart. We need to go get Eok. We can't let Forrester Inc. lock him up again with a bag over his head. They're taking him outside right now, says Eric. I close the car door. Kane will have to wait. Come on, let's go, I tell James. He follows me as we run back towards the hotel. There are a bunch of minivans parked outside the hotel entrance. Lots of people are walking around, blocking off the area or escorting suspects out of the hotel. One of them happens to be Eok. Eok! I yell, rushing over to him. I'm sorry for failing you, Eok says meekly. Ma'am, please stay back. This is an active crime scene, says the guard that apprehended him. A figure steps out of another car, intervening us. Of course I would find you here, Miss Hurth, says Neil with a large sigh. Mind telling me why I'm finding 2 of the extraterrestrials out in public when he checks something on his phone showing 2 beeping dots on a map? They're supposed to be at the safe house. I'm cleaning up your mistakes, I say with a huff. You wouldn't listen to us when we said we had information about Julio. Did it ever occur to you that we did have the data? We just didn't share it with you because you're not a registered superhero, let alone one that is classified as such information, he answers. I press my mouth shut. He's saying that Forrester Inc. knew what Julio was planning. We knew Julio's leader would be here today, but... Neil sighs once more. He managed to escape because of someone's irrational actions. If he managed to escape under your nose, that is a sign of your incompetence, not ours, says James, butting into the conversation. Neil lowers his brows at him in response. I see the bracelet has been removed as well, he notices. It was an emergency, I explain. I would have died otherwise. Miss Hurth, your safety would have been guaranteed if you didn't put yourself at risk and infiltrate a Julio meeting ground, Neil barks at me. You're the one who gave Julio its strongest weapon, I argue back. Neil glares at me, then he turns to the guard holding Eok. Please release him. The guard releases Eok and he quickly runs to my side. This is I'm that picture right now. Oh my god, I don't know how to find it. This one. This one. This is me with Eok right now. Like, for real. Okay. You know what? Let me just delete that, actually. No, I'll keep it for now. Miss Hurth, I believe it's in everyone's interest if you retreated and went back to your safe house, where you're supposed to remain until further notice. I'm not going to sit there fiddling my thumbs while Julio is stripping supers of their powers. My power. That surprises Neil. You were affected. I rub the side of my neck where the dart struck me. Realization of my own predicament settles in. Yes, I can't seem to use my ability anymore, I murmur. All the more reason to stay at home. You're powerless now. Stop trying to meddle. Let us do our jobs. Neil turns around before flipping his head back to stare at James. Then he addresses another guard. Make sure this man receives a bracelet before they leave. The guard quickly retrieves a suitcase from one of the minivans. Inside of it are a bunch of replicas of the bracelet, the source of all our misfortune. He grabs James's wrist and snaps it in place. Now he's bound again. I can't believe they have such a wretched device on hand. I feel hopeless. We didn't catch Benjamin. Kane and I got hit by a super stripping dart, and Forrester Inc. is telling us to mind our own business. Valkii, what do we do now? Asks Eok, looking at me with these sad eyes. We go home, I mutter. Bum ba-dum ba-dum bum bum. Look! We have 2 episodes to deal with Julio and Veritas. How is that even possible? Because it's not going to happen in the epilogue. The epilogue is its own thing. So how is this going to happen? Okay, I guess we'll see. I'll see you in the next one.